helping people buy, not just helping people buy, but helping people take next steps. Hello and welcome to the Consulting Business Podcast. It's your Consulting Business Podcast. This is episode number 35. My name is Russell Pearson. Welcome to the show. Today we have a guest from another part of the world. I'll explain who that is in just a moment, but we're going to be talking about sales. We're going to be talking about really the future of sales for consultants. And a large part of that is looking at what's currently going on around us, understanding that some of the things that we don't know, we don't know what we don't know. So we don't know that in the future, certain things are going to be available to us, certain technologies, certain activities, certain environments that are not currently available. All right. So we're going to have to become adaptable individuals and adaptable consultants to ensure that we're able to not only guide our clients, but also to have our businesses be sustainable through those new environments. Now, one of the other things I wanted to quickly touch on, for those who haven't been part of it, The Influencers at theinfluencers.au is a series that we just ran, and hopefully you're seeing this before it runs out, but go there anyway. You can get access to the recordings. Hopefully you can still get access to the live sessions. If you can't, well, there may be another influencers in the future, but it's just a great opportunity to meet these absolute experts from around the world who can share these little snippets, little vignettes of excellence when it comes to influence. How do we help people take steps, either in a consulting space or even within our careers or with our families and friends. All right, there are so many different areas, and how we bring our intention to that is so important. And that's actually part of the interview that I have with our next guest. It is how we bringing trust to the conversation of sales, but also not just selling, but helping people take steps. How are we doing that? So let me move to the interview, and I'm just going to read a little bio. Our next guest helps business owners in the SaaS and service space, including consultants, discover how to be able to run their practice and their company more effectively, which results in sales that soar. Absolutely, I love these sort of bios. He created the strategy sprints method, and that may actually give it away. The doubles revenue in 90 days by getting owners out of the weeds. Simon, all right, I've said his name, his first name. Simon is the CEO and founder of Strategy Sprints, which is a global team of certified you'd think I would be able to say the word strategy sprints coaches, which has offers and customized strategy to help clients gain market share and work in weekly sprints. He's a Forbes Business Council member, a contributor of Entrepreneur Magazine, member of the Duke Corporate Education, and I know a father of a family that was currently stuck at the zoo. Please make him feel absolutely welcome, Simon Servino. Simon, welcome to the show.
Hey, Russell. Hey, everybody. Thank you for having me.
That's fantastic to have you here because you are a sales expert, and I love talking with sales experts because while I always see myself as a child in the sales world, I'm always looking to grow and develop and get better. I love speaking to people about the nuance of sales. How long have you been in that space?
I did fall in love with go-to-market strategy and go-to-market execution 21 years ago.
Yeah.
When I was in a global consultancy, and then I went on my own, started my own company. And now 21 years later, I'm still in love with that field. And as you say, it's something where you can always learn, always be better, always innovate also. I'm actually very passionate about what does sales mean today, because
Yes.
it's very different from what it was 5 years ago.
And I came from the place of marketing. So it was back in the 90s when we started, it was all about having a solution. And then in the noughties, it was all about sizzle, and then features and benefits, and then outcomes, really became the focus of things. For you, how has it changed?
Yeah, that's exactly what you described, then outcomes. And now we have to move it forward into strategic value.
Yeah, okay.
Because outcomes is also, ChatGPT can do that also. So what is the one question that we are having in our community? So I host a community of sales pros from Los Angeles to Dubai to Finland.
Yeah.
And one of the questions that they are discussing every Monday is, who will be buying? Will AI buy from us?
Yeah.
Like will the purchasing department use AI? So some of them are already using it.
Yeah, you think it's hard enough talking to a procurement agent. It's going to be even worse talking to an artificial intelligence.
They are already using the AI as a co-pilot, and they're smart. And so we're looking at that side, and we're looking also at the salesperson side. How can AI help you get rid of the boring stuff, the admin stuff, and the research part? So it's constantly evolving. And right now, I'm very interested about trust. How can we build trust in each moment? Especially when the technology will be so fast and so rampant. I can just trust you, Russell, and you will have an army of robots that's delivering things. But I don't trust your robots. I can only trust you because I know you, I know your values, we have some experiences together, and I know that you will make sure the quality is there, the values are there.
Absolutely.
So that will become even more important.
And that's right. And that's why I think I certainly don't want to go down the AI rabbit hole, but it is such an amazing space. But that's why I think it's so important for whether you're a consultant, whether you see yourself as a salesperson, which is what we're going to talk about. But if you're a consultant, this is not a time to get scared that the robot army is going to take your role. Your role is the trusted advisor. So how do you actually get to a place where you know how to use the product and have the product IQ when it comes to artificial intelligence, so that you can be the conduit, you can be the go-between.
And some listening should be scared, because so I'm preparing a keynote for a Google event next week, and I'm talking about strategic value there in the context of AI. And my thesis will be that 20% of consultants will be replaced by AI. Like this quarter, we are talking as we speak. I think that companies like Accenture, Tata Consultancy, Cognizant, like the big IT consultancies, now need 20% less people to do the same productivity.
There you go.
And they will use the chance to lay off. Because now every developer is a 10x developer. Every researcher, you don't need them. You need just one researcher with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And they can do the job of 10.
And it's funny, actually, like there's corporations that I'm speaking to, and the individuals in the corporations, and I'm not mentioning any names, but they are being told they can't use artificial intelligence. So they're using it on their phone, and they're just copying and pasting because it is just so useful.
Yeah, good luck stopping it. Yeah. Like it's like trying to stop the internet. Some have tried.
Yeah, they did. They tried at the time.
And some countries are still trying to ban the internet or stop the internet. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
The advent of AI means for sales that if you are still in the old sales paradigm, which is I am the expert, I know something, and here it is, that part will be replaced because knowing is now a commodity.
Yeah.
Understanding is strategic value. But there's a difference, right? Between data and knowing, that's a commodity. Just ask Siri and it will tell you whatever you want. Very soon. You ask Bart, it will tell you. So knowledge is a commodity, but understanding and seeing what's around the corner, that is the consulting value.
Yeah.
So you will have an army of robots, but the human factor, your value is strategic value.
It brings me to mind, and I'm pretty sure it was Zig Ziglar who said it, which was nobody nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. The concept that the robots aren't going to care, right? And so they need that care factor in there to go, you're doing this in my best interest. You're doing this to take me forward. You're doing this to see around the corner, as you said, on my behalf, rather than just to get a result, I'm speaking like a robot on purpose, just to get a result, just to get an outcome. How are you on my side?
That's the trust part.
Yeah.
We will need trust above all else. I just wrote an article about my thesis that trust will be the number one metric going forward. Because everything else we can organize very efficiently. But the first question is, hey, do I trust you to be the manager of that project, of that problem-solving part of that program for me? And consultants listening right now should really think, hey, when I talk about my offer, hey, I can help you. Do people think in price, and do they compare me based on price? Then I'm in the commodity space. Or do they ask me, tell me more. How does this save time or save money or help me increase market share or win in a specific market? Now you're talking strategic value.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have basically two choices. You are either commoditized, then you will have a very tough time against purchasing departments with AI.
Yeah.
And global competition that can make it much cheaper than you. Or you are in the strategic value field. Now you have a good positioning and a healthy positioning, and you can stay relevant for decades.
Yeah, I love it. Just so that the listeners all know, Simon, we had all sorts of great ideas about where this conversation will go, but it's gone nowhere near those. And I'm going to stay here because I love this conversation. One of the things I saw in your bio is it talked about looking at problems rather than solutions, right? I'm a complete agreement. I think the opportunity is to go one step further and actually go look at symptoms, what people are experiencing, not saying, well, what you're experiencing is not the problem, it's this. There's this concept of people feeling heard, and that's the trust piece, is going to help people partner with you, right? And so can we talk a little bit about that, how to approach these opportunities so that we can build trust, but also so that we can take people from where they have a problem that they're experiencing to this new future?
Fall in love with the problem, not with the solution, comes from, if you want to stay relevant for decades, which is our philosophy, the strategy sprint method is how you stay relevant for decades and stay resilient and agile so that you get there. You stay in the game longer than your competitor.
Can I have a quick aside there? Quickly.
Yeah.
I was watching a TikTok this morning, as you do, and Alex Hormozi was on there. And Alex was talking about the difference between finite and infinite. Mm-hmm. And I love the concept, which is this finite idea of like, you're going to go from here to some place that's an end result. And those people who look at that are either not going to make it and they're going to burn themselves out with disillusionment. Those people who get there are going to say, well, okay, I've made it, so what? Now what's next? But those people who have an infinite view, that it's actually not about reaching some golden goal, but it's actually much more about you're doing good work, you're consulting and you're helping these people. How do you stay in the game longer? I really like that point of view. So it mirrored exactly what you were saying.
He's a very smart person. And I learned this from my mentor, who was one of the leadership gurus in Europe, Frederick Malik. And he always said, like 30 years ago, he wrote that capitalism is misunderstood. Capitalism is not maximizing profit. It is what's the minimum profit that I need to achieve this month so that I can stay liquid, so that my cash flow is healthy.
Yeah.
So it's not a profit game, or it's not a revenue game, it's a cash flow and liquidity game. If you understand that, he wrote it 30 years ago, and the current liquidity crisis of the M2 money supplies shows it very vividly, that it's all about credit and liquidity right now. Everything going on in the world right now is about liquidity of the economy.
Yeah.
So, and he said, most people are getting it wrong. They think you have to maximize revenue. It's the minimum profit per month that you have to go for. What's the minimum? Because the rest you will reinvest in innovation, in product innovation, in understanding your clients, in servicing your clients. So this is quite an important difference. And I'm happy that people like Alex Hormozy, who are the influencers of today, that they also mirror these principles. They are much healthier. In our work, in the weekly coachings that we do, we help going to this infinite place by saying, hey, it's not about when you sell it in 5 years, when you sell your consulting company in 5 years, that you will be happy. Either you are happy right now, or there will be no happy. You will burn out. And there are 2 risks when you run a consultancy. One is burnout, that you give up too early, and that, or you run out of energy, right? And you burn out.
Yeah, we talk about that.
It's happening all the time. And the second risk is that your pipeline is not full, because when your pipeline is not full, now you will take on the wrong clients for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
And that's non-profitable work. And then we are back to square one. Then you are working, but your cash flow is not healthy. That's the worst. You are winning the race in a downhill.
I always say that, like, there is no point going faster into the hole. There's no point in digging faster. I'm going to pull us back around. So we're talking about relevance, right? And so it's staying in that infinite rather than the finite, staying relevant, and problems enable us to do that.
Yes. So the problem of your client is much more important than your solution. Example, you are a strategy consultant or financial consultant. The problem of your client is they are in a time crunch. They have always limited time. Like Elon Musk said today in an interview, he said, my only important asset is time, and how I allocate time is the only thing I think about. Everything else I can find. Mm-hmm. Time is limited. So if you say, okay, the problem of my people, of the people that I'm here to serve, is that they have limited time. And if you focus on that, and then you can stay relevant for the next 20 years, because time crunch will always be a problem for them.
Yeah, it will.
Specifically if they run companies and if they have kids, boom, they will always be in a time crunch. If you focus on your solution, you have a problem. Your solution might be, oh, look, this software helps you with time management. So a software might be a temporary solution to that problem, but temporary things, they get substituted technologically. So in 2 weeks, there will be a metaverse version for that's in your glasses, and boof, your software is old.
Yes.
People don't use software anymore because they have now something better, which is real time, right here, right there, in front of their mountain biking, and they're having a time management assistant helping them, a Jarvis.
And history is littered with that, where the businesses were so in love with their solution. The most obvious one is Kodak. It's a film-based solution rather than what is an easy way to store memories. If they had gone, what's an easy way to store memories, they would have been ahead of the digital revolution. They probably would have owned the space.
Exactly.
Looking at past case studies is not necessarily the way forward, but it proves the way. It proves the principle.
Yes. So in our case, we help people first in the first month. So we coach in a cycle of 90 days for a very specific reason. The strategy sprint is 90 days, because in month 1 we have to free up 10 to 14 hours per week of the people we coach, because they are doing too many things. And so we have to find the few, we call it the direct path, the few activities that lead to growth. And in that month, we have to prioritize, and we have to free up that time. Now, some of our competitors, they have created software for that. They say, hey, this software helps you. It connects to your calendar, da, da, da.
Yeah.
Great solution for a couple of years. A decade later, that solution is old, and so they will have to move from software to something else. That's why we don't, yes, we have technical solutions every year, but we don't marry the technical solution. We marry the problem of time management, and
Yes.
we become trusted partners. Hey, if you feel like you're underwater and you need more time, we have the program for you. Month 1 gets you 10 to 14 hours back from your week.
Yes.
Month 2, as the next problem, filling pipeline. So everybody has the problem. I need slightly more in the pipeline than I need, so I can say yes and no to projects, to the people who I really like to work with, etc. So month 2 focuses on that. Of course, we have a technical solution right now, but we don't marry that technical solution. I think already solution agnostic. In 3 years, we will have a different way of delivering that. I don't know yet which one it is. It will be something like Jarvis for Iron Man. It's right here wherever you are. You don't even need a phone or anything. So I don't even know what the solution will be, but I know the problems that we will be here to help solve. The time problem and the pipeline problem.
Yeah.
You see the difference? And if I focus on that, in 10 years, we can still be relevant and the trusted partner to solve time and pipeline problems, because they will still be around. Those are infinite problems.
It's fascinating, actually. I don't know if people on the that are listening to this or watching it on YouTube are going to be saying it's almost like Simon's speaking Russell's language, because that's exactly what we've been talking about for the last few years, which is principle-based approaches to helping our clients, or at least guiding our clients to actually take ownership and leadership within their own business, right? What are the principles that we need to bring into? And then off the back of those principles, you got processes. And then off that back of that, you got systems. But if you lead with the system, and there are so many companies that don't have process, let alone principle, on how they're actually going to fill their pipeline, they go, get me a CRM to give me a process. And it is such a backwards way of working.
Totally.
Love that. That's fantastic. So the sprint, you've become well known for the strategy sprints. Can you describe them just as a concept for people to understand? Because I'm going to actually talk about your book, which looks fantastic after the episode. But what's the broad concept on the strategy sprint?
So for the last 21 years, I've been doing only one thing: sitting with entrepreneurs in a room, tackling those two problems, the time problem and the pipeline problem.
Yeah.
And I've came up with hundreds of tools, models, templates, spreadsheets. As you can imagine, I'm a spreadsheet guy. So I had hundreds of spreadsheets that I built for them to save them time when they have to do market entry, market domination, product innovation, aligning the sales team, increasing the win rate, shortening the sales time, all these micro problems that you have in the pipeline. I had to build some tools to help them do that time efficiently and do that well. And so whatever something would work for 10 times, 20 times, I would then save it and say, hey, I have already a spreadsheet. Do you want to use that? You can save time. And they go, oh my God, Simon, yeah, this spreadsheet saved me so much time. So now all those spreadsheets became the Sprint University, 274 tools, video, spreadsheet, and prompt, and mini process. And so that thing is the Sprint University. So only our one-to-one clients had access to that, and our group coaching clients had access to that. But during the pandemic, so many people needed these things.
Yeah.
And so my team said, Simon, why don't you write a book about those things so that people also in Korea, in Mexico, in Dubai can use those things, because the world needs it right now. And I was like, yeah, I have time. It's the pandemic. I'm not flying. I had time. And so I wrote the book. Kogan Page was an incredible partner as a publisher.
Yes.
And now it's out there. It's getting translated into Chinese right now. So it seems to be helpful for some people. And it's like a cookbook. Chapter 1, how to create your marketing system. Chapter 2, your sales system. Chapter 3, client onboarding systems. 11, 12, 13 are the hiring systems. Because if you do it without the checklists, it takes you so many times and you are reinventing the wheel. But after 21 years, I found some things that are generally helpful if you run a digital business. And those things are in the book. and they can help save time. And I use them literally. I go back, oh, my marketing's not working, let me go back to chapter 1. What did I skip? Oh, I skipped step 6. Every time I try to be smarter than my systems, I'm usually not.
Yeah, that's right. I often go back to stuff and I reread it and think of like, oh, I've moved past this, I've grown, and I go and look at the lesson that I wrote and I've gone, I should probably do more of that. I said it was good at the time.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great. Fantastic. Well,
We are not smarter than our systems.
it's true. And we have great ideas and we write them down for a reason. So we need to revisit them more than now and then. One of the topics I would like to talk to you about in the future, which we're not going to have time for today, unfortunately, is really the mindset of moving from an expert who becomes a consultant, to understand that there are elements of sales that really need to be part of your role. Even after the client has said yes to you, there are things we're going to have to help clients take steps. So I'm just teasing that because hopefully, Simon, I can get you to actually come back and we can talk about that, because the biggest lesson for me was understanding where the word sales come from, which this Norwegian word of salsa, of inviting into the home. How do you help someone cross the thresholds? How do you invite them to take this step? Very, very different than what people imagine sales to be.
Oh, I love it. And I always say, because people call me and say, Simon, I need sales coaching. Can you coach me? And I say, I don't sell. I help buy. If you wanna learn how to help them buy, let's go.
Yeah.
But sales? Who wants to sell? Who wants to be sold?
So I'm teasing that. I'm gonna invite you back, Simon. Hopefully we can find a time to actually make that work. Thank you so much for being on the call today. Where can people find out more about you? I'll talk about the book, but where can they find out maybe more about what you can do one-on-one?
So we hang out at strategysprints.com, and many of the tools that I was referencing to, they are open source. They can be downloaded there, like the strategic value tool that we were discussing.
Yeah, great.
And the book is on Amazon. It's called Strategy Sprints. And every week I share on YouTube my mistakes of that week in sales and what I've learned from it, and what you can do better. And that's on a YouTube channel called Simon Severino.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, well, go and check that out. Simon, thank you so much for being with us, and hope to speak to you very soon.
Thank you. Keep rolling.
What a fantastic interview that was. Simon and me clearly are on the same page, and we were talking about, even off the session, about how we both sort of nerd out when it comes to sales and the opportunities for people to step into that space where you're not selling at people, but you're helping people buy. Not just helping people buy, but helping people take next steps. It is so key. So I am going to recommend as my book of choice this week. It is going to be Strategy Sprints. And obviously you can get that at Amazon. We've got a link in the show notes. Go check it out. Really, it is all about putting in processes in order to ensure that, number one, you're getting time back in your business so that you can actually prepare to do the work that needs to be done. Get your pipeline of opportunities ready so that you can ensure that you're never going to go hungry, and then all the way through to actually building a business that has team members that help you sustainably do that. So Strategy Sprints, go check it out on Amazon. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to read it. It looks fantastic, and as I said, Simon and I are very much on the same page. Just a reference as well, if you didn't get a chance to check out the influencers, there are all sorts of ways that you can engage with the content that we're putting out on a weekly basis. Not only do we have your Consulting Business podcast, which if you're listening to it with your listening ears, you'll be a regular subscriber, I'm sure, on whatever podcast platform you're looking at. If you're looking at this on YouTube or one of the other video services, you're hitting the subscribe button, you're hitting the bell so you get notified when we actually do go live. But we also have Tactical Tuesday, which is something where I go live every Tuesday talking about a bite-sized tactic on how to adapt, grow, or shape your consulting practice. That also covers things like marketing, things like sales, how to work with certain team members, principles on growing your business. And you can actually go and join me live on Facebook for that at, well, I nearly got the name of the group wrong, but it's Future Proof Business Group. The Future Proof Business Group is something we set up back when Melbourne was in severe lockdown. I think we were down for 250 days. We actually got locked down within 5 kilometers of our homes. And so during that time, I reached out digitally and said, let's start something. Let's talk about what's actually going on. And we started a group that had just a core members of 30 people. And we continued to invite people personally over that time. There's just a room full of now 1,400 experts, people who are consultants and technical experts and service experts in their field, who talk about how to adapt business. And the Tactical Tuesday sessions happen every Tuesday, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, if it's Eastern Standard Time rather than Daylight Standard Time. That happens every single week. So we'd love you to come there and be live and join in those. But we also put them on YouTube as well. If you'd like to know how you can work with Simon, obviously go to his website. If you'd like to know about how to work with me, go to my website, go to russellpearson.com. It's a one way you can actually engage with me, but I think the best way is just to connect with me. Say it in the comments. Go to Facebook and connect with me. Go to LinkedIn and connect with me. I like that social interaction. I like to have those conversations with people. And when it makes sense, we guide people on the next steps in their business, and that's how we can take care of people. We've got the Forbes Business Group, which is a business group where we work with consultants, we work with service experts every single week to help them grow out their pipelines, their businesses, and their confidence really as consultants in their space. We also do strategy work for some of those larger organizations, but whatever it is, let's just have a chat. You can connect with me there. Until next time, my name is Russell Pearson, spelled SSL the way Russell should be spelt. Stay passionate, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.